Mountain.
Train the muscles, not the joints.
Welcome back to Natural Gallant Bodybuilding, and today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about when you might want to think about lowering the frequency of your training. Now, I just had a guy reach out to me and ask me about when he should change to a 3-day split from a 2-day split, or when he should lower down the frequency in his training because, you know, he's having some issues. He's starting to get some aches in the joints and stuff like that. And he's saying, well, maybe this is related to doing too high a frequency and too much volume for himself at this time. So basically, I answered this. I said, maybe you want to go to a 3-day split or a 4-day split for a period of time, or take some time off. Now, the reason why I'm talking about this is that sometimes people will continue working out even though they're getting a lot of aches and pains in the joints. And sometimes when you're getting aches and pains in the joints, assuming you're using the right range of motion and right form for you, which is always, you know, that's always a questionable sort of thing. And each person is going to be different depending on how they're built. But assuming you're doing that correctly, if you're getting aches and pains, you may be doing too heavy, you may be doing too much, or you may be doing it too often. So these are things to consider. So first thing I would do is make sure that you get some sort of help or assistance. Maybe you need some massage, maybe you need some physiotherapy, maybe you need some proper supplementation in order to make sure your joints are working properly. Maybe you need some glucosamine, I don't know, salmon oil. Maybe you need some more anti-inflammatory type of good fats that work with your system, so that way your body gets lubricated enough when it's training. But another thing to consider is that just taking time off can allow your body to catch up in recuperating. And yeah, like I've always said, the muscles can recuperate a lot faster than the joints can. So if the joints are lagging behind, maybe you need to have a little bit more time off in between times that you train that body part for a period of time, or maybe you just need to do a deload period of time. Maybe you just need to take a week or two off training altogether, let everything recover, and then go back into the gym and see how things feel, right? So it's always good to change things up and always be paying attention to what is happening in your body, so that way you're making proper adjustments depending on what's going on. So if you're just ignoring things for long periods of time and then just going forward with your plan, say you have a plan inside your head and you're saying, I'm going to train this way no matter what, and then your body's giving you some sort of signs or indicators. It's like a conversation. It's saying, hey, this isn't working for me right now. That means something has to change. Maybe it's exercise, maybe it's the frequency, maybe it's something nutritionally. Maybe you're deficient in something. And it's funny that this is coming up too, because somebody just recently reached out, a company reached out to me and asked me to look at their supplements, and their supplements are basically extracts of organ meats and things that are supposed to have a positive effect on the body. And this is true because organ meats have a lot of minerals and a lot of nutrition that we do not get in our modern day lifestyle, right? So a lot of times as bodybuilders, we're eating a lot of muscle meat. We're eating chicken breasts, we're eating, you know, fish, all this sort of thing. But a lot of times we're not eating enough of the minerals that are naturally occurring from animals or from products, right? So I know some of you vegetarians out there, you know, just say, hey, eat flowers or whatever, and it's all fine. But for me, that doesn't work, right? Different constitutions are different. But one thing I will say is that nutritional deficiencies can play a role also in whether your body is recovering. And we talked about this when it comes down to eating enough protein in your diet and not eating too much carbs and eating enough essential fats and that sort of thing. If you're not eating the right foods, often your body will lag behind in recovery as well. And that was my point of making that carnivore diet video. It's not because I just eat carnivore, I don't. But if you're just eating foods that are energy like carbohydrates and not enough, because you're filling up on the carbohydrates, say you're filling up on crackers and potato chips, but you're not eating enough of the protein and enough of the essential nutrients, your body will lag behind in recovery. And it won't matter how perfect your training program is, you're not getting enough nutrition in order to heal. So this is always something to consider as well, if you're noticing that there's some aches and pains in your joints and that sort of thing going on. So yeah, don't be afraid to take a week off. Don't be afraid to reassess your nutritional program or your diet and look at what you're doing. And don't be afraid to say, hey, I just need to take some time off, or change the frequency of my training, or change something up. Maybe if I'm only getting pain in one part of my body, maybe there's certain exercises that I'm doing wrong for that part of the body, and I need to adjust the range of motion or adjust the exercises altogether, like change them altogether, or change the intensity. If you're lifting too heavy for a certain exercise, that can also cause problems. Skull crushers are a primary example of this. I noticed a long time ago that I can do sets of 10 to 25 reps with skull crushers, but if I started doing 5 rep sets with skull crushers, I'd have elbow problems, right? It doesn't mean skull crushers are bad, but it means that there's a certain threshold that I can't pass when it comes to intensity of weight without getting some sort of joint issue. So this is also something to consider when you're training. So I hope this helps you out in your training. Thanks a lot for watching. If you need to go home, just go to naturalgallantbodybuilding.com, and thanks to the Patreon supporters, and take care for now. Mountain.